Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And today, again, I'm going to be talking about Adobe Fresco's new symmetry tool. We've been waiting a long time for this, so you guys, I'm really pumped about it. So if you guys saw my last video, I was showing you guys how to use the tool, how to access it, and all the different features that come with this new feature overall. But today, I thought it would be kind of fun if we get together, sit down with our iPads or our tablets, and create some designs using the symmetrical tool in Adobe Fresco. So just grab your tablets and let's jump right into it. So to get started, I have Fresco already opened. I'm going to go ahead and click on current screen size because that's the document size I would like. And my screen size is 2732 by 2048 pixels. That's because I have the 12.9-inch iPad Pro. I went ahead and imported a photo, and this is going to be the design I work off of. I want to make a new iteration of it, and you can see on the left side, it also imported my color palette, which is a really cool feature of Adobe Fresco. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to create a new layer, hide my design, my original design, and I'm rotating my canvas. The problem with that is if I turn on my image again, you can see it's sideways. I actually need to rotate my canvas via my settings. So I'll go to my settings and rotate my canvas to the right. And now my artboard is no longer in landscape, it's in portrait mode. And now I want to add the background color to my design. I chose a pixel filler type. And if I turn on my original sketch or my original illustration, sorry, it's not a sketch, you can see that it is actually the incorrect color for the background. It actually did not import that background color when I imported the photo. So using the eyedropper tool or holding down on that original design, I selected the color and then I filled in that background layer with that color. So besides that color being the incorrect color, most of the colors are pretty much the same or similar. So I'm going to go ahead and start picking out some colors that I want to work with. Maybe I'll grab this green from the original design or the pink or the red, and then I can start using the symmetry tool. So go ahead and hide my design layer and start on a new layer. And then under precision, I'll turn on symmetry. There's several types of symmetry you can select. And another cool thing about the symmetry tool is you can actually select move guides and you can move the guides on your canvas. So I just grab this little white dot and I can place it anywhere on my canvas. And then by clicking on the arrow, I can undo and place it at the original position. So I've gone ahead and selected a different type of reflective, one with multiple guides. And on a new layer, I want to start drawing with a vector brush. I'm going to go ahead and select the pink, and you can see how it's already forming as I draw. Maybe I'll draw a flower here, kind of, reminiscing on the original design. Again, I want to use that as a reference for this design. So you see how easy it is to create a flower. Now, if I want to add the inner circle, I can just draw a circle in this center and also add a little bit more details to my flower. The cool thing is that with the symmetry tool, I can continue to add various details to, let's say, to one petal, and it'll do that same design or same stroke for every single petal, again, depending on what symmetry tool or symmetry setting you selected. By the way, feel free to follow along as I'm drawing this flower or, get creative and create your own design. I'm just using my original design as reference or inspiration, kind of creating an iteration of that design and just playing around with the brushes and the strokes here and kind of seeing what I could do for every petal just because I can get in so much detail on one petal and it'll just occur for every other petal within those guides, which is really, really cool. Now, I'm thinking maybe adding an inner white circle on the inside, maybe adding a couple more details on the petals as well. I originally thought maybe adding like a white loop around the side might look nice, but I think maybe not for this design. So I'll go ahead and maybe try something else. I think what I originally decided is maybe just keep it more simple, maybe add another dot on the top. And the cool thing is, like with the symmetry tool, you can just undo as you go in case you don't like it. You don't have to do every single petal at once or separately and then decide I don't like this. That's the cool thing about the symmetry tool. So I think this little dot works for this flower. Now I'll create a new layer below my flower because I want to add some leaves to this design. And I'll go ahead and go to my color wheel and select a green for my color palette. And then on this new layer, I can start adding fun leaves to this flower. And I put it beneath my flower so that the leaves were behind it. You see, I filled it in. The problem is because some of these leaves aren't connected, so I have to connect these little portions right here. And once I make those connections, now I can fill in those leaves. So I'll turn on my flower again. Next, I'll create a new layer above my leaves and click on the clipping mask icon. Now I can add a clipping mask to these leaves, and I'll add these little strokes of green across my green leaves. So that's the cool thing about Adobe Fresco is it's really easy to create clipping masks in this app. I just love that you can literally tap an icon and create a clipping mask. Other thing, whenever I'm working with symmetry tools or even just layers in general, I like to create multiple layers. I'm going to change the symmetry here just to have like the one guide center so that way it's symmetrical on the left and the right side. But you can see I'm always adding layers. And honestly, I can continue drawing flowers and redoing them for a really long time until I really like them. So yeah, you can also just grab the other symmetry tools and make the perfect flower, but this one I kind of want to make it a little bit more maybe hand drawn versus the other ones. After countless flowers, I finally picked and decided on this one. It's simple flower, not super symmetrical with all of the leaves, but I like how the left side, reflects on the reflects the right side. So I'll just add the inner portion of my flower, make it a pink and simple dot. You can also hold down if you want to create some sort of circle in the middle. It's a little bit harder to create the perfect circle, especially if you're using the symmetry tool when you're straight dead on the guideline. So now let's go ahead and add another layer. And this time I'm thinking adding more leaves, more vines, more stems to my design. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe select a green here, something that pops a little bit brighter on my canvas. Or I can go back to the darker green. Maybe the darker green works better just so it kind of fits with my other leaves that I already have. So now I'll just kind of play around with adding more stems to my design, more leaves, and obviously, whatever I'm drawing on this side of the canvas, it is appearing on the other side of the canvas. Keep in mind that when you do use the paint bucket, whenever you use the paint bucket tool to add color, the thing about Fresco is you have to add it on both sides. So I hope they update this so that whatever I add color on the left side, it's added to the right side because I think it's safe to assume we want it to look the exact same on both sides. And so now I want to add a flower design to these little stems here. And you can see it's above my stem. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this layer that I created. It's a new one. And I'm going to put it below my little green stems because I want that little green bud to be at the top and above this flower that I just drew. And again, using the paint bucket to fill in those shapes or those flowers that I just created. So I'm creating another layer. The reason why I like to create multiple layers is because maybe some different leaves, some different shapes, I want them to have specific clipping masks. Maybe I want them to have specific color schemes. I just like to create as many layers as I can. That way I can edit them much more easily. If I had put this all in the same layer, I wouldn't be able to go back and let's say edit the flowers behind my original pink flower. So I highly recommend kind of keeping up with the layers, creating multiple and not sticking everything onto one layer because then it's going to be really difficult to go back and edit things if you want to. So I'm continuing just adding leaves, adding, stems to my design and adding flowers. So for this portion, I'll just speed up through me drawing and adding the leaves and flowers to the rest of this design. And honestly, all I'm doing is just whenever I feel like I want to add a new layer, I'll create a new layer and start drawing. So I try to keep certain flowers on the same layer, certain leaf styles on the same layer, as you can see. But yeah, I think so far it's coming out really cool. Now that I've added most of my leaves and my flowers on a new layer, I'm going to put this at the very top. I actually want to create a ribbon wrapping around the stems of my leaves at the very bottom. So I selected the color pink I have here, and I'm just creating this fun shape for a ribbon and then adding the bottom portions of the ribbon as well. So again, I'm just creating the shape of a ribbon. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not the best ribbon drawer, as you can see. I'm gonna have to edit it and fix it as I go. But yeah, the cool thing about Fresco and any digital drawing app is you can always go back, tap on the screen to undo. It's not like drawing on paper where if you draw something, it's there unless you're drawing with pencil and paper. But yeah, this has been really fun. I really liked adding the ribbon as the additional touch. Obviously, I feel like there's still more details I can add here. The center portion of the ribbon as well. Again, whenever you're trying to create a circle with the symmetry tool, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So I think that looks great. I think what's next is I want to add more details to some of my layers. So I can click on a layer, create a new layer above it, and click on the clipping mask icon to add more details on top of those layers. So for example, this leaf down here, I can add like an inner green line. I did this several times because I wasn't sure what shape I should do since the leaf was really wiggly. But I finally kind of figured it out, kind of going along with the leaf itself. And I continue doing this for the rest of my designs. So just picking out different layers that I want to add more details to using a clipping mask. Guys, definitely use those clipping masks. It gives you more freedom to add more detail to your designs without having to mess up or draw on the original drawings that you had. Clipping masks allow you to go back and edit easily in case you don't want to put everything on the same layer. So clipping masks are awesome, and in Fresco you can easily do them. So I'm adding more details to now these light green leaves at the top, and you can see even with the clay mask, the symmetry tool is still working. So as long as it's on, it's gonna work, even if you're using the clipping mask. At the very top, I'm creating another layer, and this is where I'm gonna add a couple more flowers, a little more tiny details around my design, maybe some dots. And I'll go ahead and speed this up for you as well, just so you can kind of see quickly what I did and how it came out. So I'm very close to finishing this. I'm adding one more little dot, little circle to my design. And I think I really like the way it came out. It's slightly different than the original design, but I really love how it's very similar using the same color palette. And yeah, that's my design. This is a symmetry tool in Adobe Fresco, guys. It's really fun to use. Honestly, I can't emphasize that enough. If you guys love drawing with the symmetry tool in Procreate, you're going to love it in Fresco. Another cool thing about Fresco is you can adjust the layer properties, the hue and saturation, if you want to change the color of your design. I love playing around with this just in case I do an entire design in a color palette, and then at the end of it, I'm like, wait, maybe I want to change the color palette of this design. So you can adjust the layer properties if you want, turn it off. If you don't like it, delete it. And I think I'm just going to stick with my original design. And this is how the design turned out. I hope you guys were following along and were able to draw something similar as well. If you guys enjoyed the video, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel, or comment below. I will have more videos like this in the future, and thank you for watching.